Howdy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Springfield Public Library's very first 315 book break.
Named as such because it's 3:15 and we're taking a quick break to talk about books.
So I hope you'll join us occasionally. Our goal is to do this on Wednesdays at 3:15, just to share some great things that we've read recently.
Yeah, it'll be a mix of Librarian Taylor, myself, Librarian Mark, and then other library staff. We're hoping everybody can get a chance to just share some of the favorite library items, books, DVDs, databases, honestly, whatever. We'll call it the book break, but we'll probably end up, expanding that as is our want. And yeah.
So Mark, what have you read recently?
Recently, I have read Cyclopedia Exotica. This is by, and I'm going to make sure I get this name correct, Aminder Dhaliwal. She also wrote another book from the adult graphic novel section, the general graphic novel section, called Woman World, which I've promoted pretty heavily. Cyclopedia Exotica imagines a world where, and it is a graphic novel, imagines a world where, as well as Homo sapien, there was Cyclops. They came from the Mediterranean around Greece, and basically it is commentary on today and commentary of American life in particular. What's really interesting is that it kind of follows along with pop culture. So all the way through this book, as you're introduced to the various different characters and you're kind of seeing their day-to-day life, it's always hearkening back to a kid's book. It's always hearkening back to the first time a Cyclops woman appeared in Playboy. It's hearkening back to the fact that at one stage you could, or the Cyclopses could have their eye split in two. So they could be two eyes as well.
That's terrifying, Mark.
It is terrifying. It's also it's really cute. And it is, a lot of comments about today's culture and art and people and older generations. And so as well as looking at those kind of things, it talks a lot about being an ally, in all honesty.
Can we also just call out, check out what the book designer did on this book. I'm a big fan of amazing book design.
It's very pretty.
It's a very well-designed book. A nice little treat.
All right. That is available in the graphic novels in the library. You can place it on hold. Cyclopedia Exotica.
And that is not a kid's graphic novel, not a teen graphic novel. That's in the general graphic novel section, right?
100%.
We have 3 graphic novel sections in the library. I do not have a graphic novel. I just finished reading, again, this delightful picture book called Mell Fell. It's by Corey Tabor. Now, this, you'll notice there's a nice shiny metal on this book. All the books I'm sharing today have a nice shiny metal. They're all award winners from just about a week ago. The American Library Association gave out their annual awards. They're the biggest children's literature awards in the country. And this one won the Caldecott honor for illustration. So Mell Fell is about Mell, this little baby kingfisher. And Mell decides that it is finally time to learn and fly. So Mell jumps out of his tree and begins to fall. And Mell falls and falls and falls and falls and falls past all sorts of creatures that want to help Mell because they're really afraid of what's going to happen to Mell whenever Mell hits the bottom. And this is what happens. Splash! But Mell's a kingfisher. So what does Mell do? Mell swims. And then you turn the book. And you turn the book. And for the rest of the book, you read it the other way. So you actually read this book in 3 different directions over the course of the story. And that is Mell Fell by Corey Tabor. What else you got, Mark?
What else have I got? I have got, and you may notice that this does not have library materials on it because this is actually my wife's copy, which I read and brought here to talk about. We do have it in the library again. This is A Master of Djinn by P. Djeli Clark. It's a lot of fun. The idea behind this book is that in the 1860s, a sorcerer, a mystic, reopened the portal between the land of magic and our reality. Some governments, such as the American government and the British government, kind of ignored it. The Egyptian government jumped on board and is now a world superpower. It's very cool. Yeah, there's some pretty pointed commentary about what's going on in the States during this book. As an Australian, I've always been fascinated by colonialism. It's a really fascinating thing, what the British did across the world, and the sheer arrogance of stomping around the world and doing what they did. Like I said, it is a fascinating subject. It's a terrifying subject, but it is really interesting. And for this book to kind of take that and throw it on its head is really, really interesting. It builds up this really amazing world where you've got people living side by side with Djinn and magic folk. The German Empire has embraced the goblins who pop up all the way through, German folklore and that kind of stuff. It follows the main character is a woman. She is the youngest and the only woman at basically the X-Files department, or the Ministry of Magic, to use another pop culture reference. She saved the world and the universe at least once already. She dresses that. If you're into clothes, this is the book for you. Everything talks about the different kinds of brocaded suits that she's wearing, and the tie pins and the colors and everything.
I bet Instagram loves that book.
I think it does.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It's not a hard read. It's not a long read. It's just a good adventure story with intrigue and mystery set in Egypt. There's some steampunk. There's angels, though what the angels actually are is bizarre as well. This is a really fun book to read.
And does that tie in with Clark's novella, The Haunting of Tramcar 015?
I believe so.
I think it does. If you want an introduction to Clark's work, you could try the Haunting of Tramcar 015. It's a great novella, really quick read, high fantasy, good stuff. So, all right. I've got another picture book for y'all. So this is I Sang You Down from the Stars. It's by Tasha Spillett-Sumner, and it's illustrated by Michaela Goad. So this book, another honor winner, is just received the American Indian Library Association Youth Literature Award. So that award is given to books that are exceptional in representing Native American culture, tribal life, Native nations, things like that. And this book is just an incredible love story from a mother to their child. The story through these soft, absolutely exquisite illustrations show a mother from the point where she realizes that she's pregnant, through the pregnancy, and then through having baby and just welcoming baby into the world, creating baby's sacred medicine bundle. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied today. These illustrations are just lovely, and like I said, just a wonderful love story for a mother to a child. And you can learn a little bit about one of our relatively local Native nations, which is fantastic. Mark?
I think you should probably keep...
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to do another one. So, Mark, you know what hibernate means, right?
Very much so.
Okay, so hibernating is when I take a really long nap all winter long, right?
That's what I think, yes.
Okay, so have you ever heard of estivating?
No. I have not heard of estivating.
So I hadn't heard of estivating either, but apparently scientists are just starting to learn more about it, but there's this whole group of animals that estivate. What do you think estivate means?
Can I cheat and say that I just looked at the front of this book? I'm sorry. Otherwise, I have no idea. I'm going to try and think. Estivate. I don't know what Esther is going to mean.
So I learned all about estivating in Summertime Sleepers, animals that estivate. This is a Cyber Honor winner, which is an award for children's nonfiction. So estivation is when you sleep during the summer. This is a nonfiction, it's a narrative nonfiction book for kids, which means it's all fact-based, but it's meant to be read aloud, just like a picture book. You've got your main text up here, extra text down here, and lots of excellent diagrams and illustrations. Oh, so cute. But yes, if you want to learn about estivation and the really adorable, incredible animals that sleep during the summer, check out Summertime Sleepers.
I can't wait. I mean, it appears to be full of animals that are crepuscular, which is another amazing word.
Ooh, I want a book that's all about crepuscular estivation.
It's probably a thing.
It probably is a thing.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
Get another one?
I'm just going to do one more. I just did a reread the other day, and I just wanted to talk very quickly about Neverwhere. Okay, Neil Gaiman, huge, absolutely huge. American Gods is still probably, and The Sandman is still probably the things that he's best known for. The Ocean at the End of the Lane, nearly a perfect novella, and the Sandman. And it's going to be bigger again because there is a Sandman television show coming out in the near future, which looks pretty interesting. And G. Willow Wilson, who wrote the Ms. Marvel comic book and stuff, she's got some dreaming books coming out based on the Sandman characters. So they're coming out very soon. So I thought I'd have a quick look at Neverwhere. Again, I really like Neverwhere because it's set in London below. And so it's based all around basically wordplay. So the Earl who lives in Earl's Court, and it's based mostly around the London tube stations.
Isn't it like heavily inspired by Alice in Wonderland as well? Or am I making that up?
I can imagine that it very definitely would be. It's that kind of adventure.
Very Alice in Wonderland.
Very Wonderland plot. He falls through the cracks into the world of London below, which is a reflection of London above. Huge cast of amazing characters. And it's just, if you're just looking for a nice adventure book, well, not even nice actually, if you're just looking for a good adventure book to read, pick this up. This copy is illustrated by Chris Riddell, who does a whole bunch of Neil Gaiman stuff. I very much like his
such an amazing illustrator.
Well. Yeah, it's great. But for just, you know what? It's the end of the day. I want to read a few pages of just an adventure story that's going to suck me in and just keep me rolling along. It's a really nice book.
I'm going to jump in with another like older teen, young adult to just general audience recommendation. If you want to go traipsing through all the different Londons, read Neverwhere, and then also read Victoria Schwab's Darker Shade of Magic, which is my favorite alternative London series. High fantasy. There's a gray London, a black London, a white London, and a red London. Magic plays a different role in each, and there are only a couple people that can move through the London. So that's A Darker Shade of Magic by Victoria Schwab.
All
right. I'm going to
finish off.
I'm going to do two more picture books. So the first one, when I saw this book come out of the box at the library, I had to sit and read it right away. Look at this beautiful book. Have you ever seen a flower? And the neon nature of these illustrations doesn't come through on screen. These are truly day glow colors. And this is by Shawn Harris. And yes, I can blind my coworker with this book. This is the Caldecott Honor, and that's given for illustration. It was only one of, I think, 3 honors given out this year.
Oh, wow.
So just the end papers, they're so beautiful. And this, so we start in the city, and as we move through and move out into the wild, into the meadow, into the flowers, this is just an exploration. It is an adventure in a picture book. It's great to read out loud, or great for a grade schooler who's already reading independently to sit and just ponder over. And they're all just thoughts about experiencing the world. It's a very sensory book. This is quite Alice in Wonderland as well. So this is Have You Ever Seen a Flower by Shawn Harris, Caldecott Honor winner this year. And then my last book just stole my heart. This one is called Grandad's Camper. So this one, I did all honor books today. We'll have to get you some medal winners next time. But this one, the Stonewall honor book. So the Stonewall book awards are given out to books which best positively best portray the LGBTQ experience in America. And so this storybook just follows our main character and their grandpa, and grandpa is telling his grandchild about Grandad. So it's Grandad and grandpa, and grandpa's lost his partner just to old age and is reliving their adventures and their love and sharing that story with his grandchild. And he's sad at the end, and she asks, you know, why don't you go adventuring anymore? And he says, well, it's just not the same. And then they decide to fix up the little camper, and they go on a brand new adventure together to make new memories. I love it so much.
That's lovely.
All right.
All right. That was the 3:15 book break.
That's the 3:15 book break. We'll be back next week at the latest with another book break. Like we said, we're going to mix up the different librarians and the different types of things that we share. And we will put all of the titles and authors of what we shared today in the comments of our video.
Okay. Yeah. The videos, if you didn't catch this live, or if you are catching this live and want to share it with somebody else, these will be up on our Facebook page as a post, and then also on our YouTube channel.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.